Hello, English speakers. Thanks for coming. I'm Harrison Lovell from Adobe. I lead the payment specialist team that works very closely with our payments partners, Stripe, Adyen, and why we're here today, PayPal. With me today is...
Hello, everyone. Ritesh, SOMANI. I'm on the product team for Adobe Commerce for value-added services. I'm based out of San Jose, California, headquarters of Adobe. If anyone is ever in the area, please stop by, look me up. We're very happy to be here today. It's my first Meet Magento outside of the US, and I've had a very, very warm welcome, so thank you for that, for everyone here. And
a literal warm welcome.
Yeah, that is true.
Yeah.
We had good plans of spending some time visiting the city yesterday, but instead decided to opt in and stay indoors so that we could be here with you all today in full spirit. Anyway, thanks for being here. I'm excited to talk to you.
All right, so moving ahead, let's go over a quick roadmap of what we're going to cover today, what trends we're seeing in the marketplace, what is payment services for Adobe Commerce and Magento Open Source, and most importantly, we're going to share some news about the deprecation of many PayPal solutions on Adobe Commerce and Magento Open Source. And we're going to give you a path forward to maintain the latest that PayPal has to offer for yourself or your customers.
And then there's a little special something at the end. So let's get started with some baseline on trends and some numbers, because we all love numbers. So basically, you could see that 56% of commerce right now is the transactions are based on digital wallets, and digital wallets is a preference, and you can see that over half of the people prefer some sort of digital wallet to make their purchase, whether it's Apple Pay, whether it's Google Pay, whether it's PayPal, or any of the payment methods in between. And so that is a trend that we are seeing that's happening today. Stat number 2. Also, the right payment method is equally as important as the location of where it is and the experience as well in the shopping journey. So shopping experience, payment method equals successful transaction. If not, you can see another statistic that we throw up here is over 1/3 of customers say they would abandon a purchase if there was friction in that process. And who couldn't use an extra 37% of revenue, right? So this is an important statistic for us.
And speaking of revenue, $300 billion, the next stat, that was the estimated spend on buy now, pay later services in 2025. As you can imagine, a couple years ago, that was significantly lower, and buy now, pay later continues to grow significantly. And merchants are seeing significant uptick. According to a PayPal internal study, when taking PayPal transactions versus PayPal Pay Later transactions, the average order value was 81% higher. So if you're a merchant or deal with merchants that could use a little bit more higher spend customers, buy now, pay later is something you have to think about. And a lot of buy now, pay later providers can go upwards of $10,000, $15,000, $20,000 in many cases. So some pretty wild statistics. Let's go into what payment services for Adobe Commerce and Magento Open Source actually is. So it is a Adobe managed integration currently supporting PayPal's complete payments platform. It is not Braintree. It is known at PayPal as PPCP. You may have heard that from PayPal reps or customers asking for PPCP. It's really designed to help merchants get started with the core payment capabilities expected with very little to no development work. And for those on the legacy modules that we've come to know for many years in the back end of Adobe Commerce and Magento open source, if a merchant has a PayPal account already, they can migrate to PayPal Complete Payments and get set up in minutes. And depending on the store, they may need to do an install, or it's already pre-installed to their setup. And some of the key benefits for users includes access to key core methods and the ability to quickly turn on things like PayPal's Pay Later, PayPal's Fastlane one-click checkout service, which is also 3DS capable, and also, because we know the market really requires it, local payment method support, all backed and supported by PayPal and Adobe.
Okay, so this wouldn't be fun if we didn't show you how all of this comes together. Although I will have to narrate this demo, so I'm going to do a little head flip back and forth, but let's see if we can keep up. So basically with payment services, yes, it's working. Okay. We have all of the convenient payment methods that Harrison was talking about, and it can be included within the checkout without developer interaction. So you can see over here all of the different digital wallets. If I go ahead and I select one, you're within the product page here, still not bouncing around to different places, with the ability to change all of the different configurations, whether it's the payment method, the shipping information, and for all of you astute viewers, if you're seeing as the demo changes, you'll see the shipping prices changing magically, automatically right on the screen as well. So you're delivering to your shoppers the actual price. There's no confusion about how much something should cost if you've changed any of the variations, and voila, the purchase is made and you're ready to go. Now, another demo that I want to show you is about how intuitive it is to set up, and whether you're technical or not, the ability for marketers or anyone else to really create the right experience throughout the checkout process, right? So demo number 2 here, you can see payment buttons on the product page, which we showed earlier as well. It could be also in the mini cart, and obviously on the checkout page. We've now introduced this sort of express checkout area, so people can just go ahead and click one of their digital wallets right up top. But if you do continue all the way, here again, a marketer can decide through the admin whether they want certain payment methods on or off, instantly made available at different locations, and the different variations. So really you can control the look and feel and the presentment of payment methods. Some of our customers have done this in a way, like if you're running a promotion that's targeting millennials, for example, you might want to introduce a certain payment method for that period of time, and then guess what? Your promotion's over, go into admin, click it off, and now you're back to an original set that you might have. Or as Harrison mentioned, BNPL becomes very important and very favorable during the holiday season. So during the holiday season, maybe your BNPL solution gets turned on in certain places and then turned off after the holidays are over.
All right, and a quick recap of what's available specifically in France. We support some of the core methods required for the market, backed also with French and Euro settlement support. And for those interested in these core methods in using payment services, we are sharing that payment services is one of the only products from Adobe or features from Adobe that is available for Magento open source customers as well. So it is not limited to Adobe Commerce. So if a merchant has a challenge with any part of the integration, they can reach out to Adobe technical support and get express help.
And just to add to that, we've actually got a separate support team set up for payments because we do understand payments is probably much more important or more important than any other aspect of the e-commerce stack. If you're not collecting payments, your virtual doors are shut. So we've got a special team that handles this on priority for any merchants having issues.
And I do want to speak quickly to, if you could go back one, Ritesh.
Oh.
Sorry. The complementary methods. So I specifically noted those because I've heard that these are important in the market, but we don't have them yet in payment services, but they will be available as part of the integration at some point in the future. So you can still integrate these. They just won't be integrated to payment services at this time. Okay, so let's move on to the migrations. So what's happening with the existing PayPal solutions you've worked with for years? To summarize, PayPal is moving their tech stack into the modern era, and they are consolidating from several products down to basically two core main products, Braintree and PayPal Complete Payments. All right, so some names that you might recognize: Express Checkout, Payment Standard, Payments Pro, Payments Advanced, PayFlow Pro, and PayFlow Link. Several products to manage, right? So all of those are on a deprecation schedule that PayPal has yet to fully announce, but at some point in the future, Adobe will be closing the front door on those integrations for future versions of Adobe Commerce and Magento open source. So if you have customers that are using that today, I should tell you to think about the migration in your next cycles. And why does it matter overall? The supported solutions keep you current on security standards, compliance, and access to those modern payment methods. So moving on, we've broken up the levels of urgency for a migration into three buckets. It really depends on what you run today. Website Payment Standard, WPS, is the first to have been deprecated. The other solutions are on a deprecation schedule for later this year, next year. But we know that most of the customers out in the EMEA market are using Express Checkout. There will be no new features for that, no security patches, and again, please plan for an upgrade to PayPal Complete Payments or Braintree if you have a customer using that today. So how do you find your right path? It really starts with the versioning. So we've got three different doors. So for merchants on 2.4.0 plus, PayPal Complete Payments is available, and it's available as a integration to install. Again, with 2.4.4 to 2.4.6, that's also available and I believe still supported through extended support. And then from 2.4.7 plus, payment services is already in the core and will continue to be in the core for now. And as many of you know, PayPal Braintree is already in the core as well. But if you only want to get rid of PayPal Express Checkout, the pathway is to use payment services. Okay, and one last thing for migration paths. There are some pre 2.4.3 Magento and Adobe Commerce options available. It's actually just Bold Commerce's PPCP option. And then for merchants on 2.4.4 to 2.4.5, we typically recommend either Payment Services or Bold Commerce's solution. And then for merchants on 2.4.6 plus, there's actually three different options. Gene Commerce has built a PayPal Complete Payments module, but it does not come with Adobe back support. Braintree is available, but Payment Services is the only one with Adobe technical support.
Simple, right? No problem. seriously though, I mean, if you have questions about any of this stuff, you know, we're available. Please ask us. You know, we can guide you through this process, whether you're a merchant or whether you're an agency with merchants who sort of have this situation. But let's talk about something else in terms of the benefit of payment services. So aside from all of the compliance stuff that Harrison talked about, upgrading to payment services also sets us up for the future. And I guess you can all guess what that future is. We've heard it in some of the keynotes. I'm sure you're all talking about it amongst yourselves. And so how do we get involved with, you know, the agentic checkout and agentic AI as well? Okay, well, because I like numbers, we'll start off with a few numbers first. And I won't go into each of these numbers, but basically, you can look at these numbers and know that the shoppers are telling us they want to, and they will use AI surfaces in their shopping journeys, right? I think we've all probably asked an LLM surface at one point or another some question about, you know, which item to purchase. So what this basically means is we need to continue to meet the shoppers where they are. And so the statistics definitely prove this. So much traffic is being driven from AI surfaces, and you can see in the statistic, the conversion rate is higher as well. So if shoppers prefer this way of shopping and the conversion is higher because these are shoppers that have already expressed an intent to purchase, we must all figure out how to account for this new way of shopping in our existing shopping journeys. So from an Adobe Commerce perspective, we are on a journey to continue to adapt to all the protocols being introduced. We want to make sure that merchants get maximum choice. So the ones that you've heard of, like ACP and UCP, we've also are working on a direct integration with PayPal to open up not only LLM surfaces, but different intermediary shopping destination sites as well. And all of those we think are going to be the future of how and people want to shop and what they want to do when they are browsing for items. Well, one of the things that I forgot to mention on this is in this sort of journey, you know, it starts with Adobe Commerce in terms of where the catalog feed starts, obviously, or Magento, and then it ends with the order ingestion on the way back in as well. And in between is the areas that we're continuing to work on to make sure that that's seamless from start to finish. Now, let me show you what that reality can actually look like through a sort of long demo, but I think we can walk through this. Let's see. Oops. That didn't work. Let's go. Go demo. There we go. All right. So, did it just stop? Oh, it just needed a little bit to get started. Okay, so you can imagine the first step of it, the product feed, where you come in and you can go through and select a portion of the catalog or certain typical items and create that product feed set, right? Whatever that may be. In this case, it's the top 5 products that I sell, and I sell socks. So I'll go ahead and save this, and then what we missed earlier is it selected the actual agentic surface as well. And as we continue to add more, there'll be more there that will populate. You can make it active or inactive, and we anticipate making this into an API feed that regularly updates with the surface that it's going to. And now, after that feed is done, what does the purchase look like on the front end? So imagine yourself with a agentic surface here, and a person is having a conversation right now and trying to talk about planning a trip to Hawaii, hiking, and guess what? Conveniently, they need socks. So it's a good thing we uploaded our product feed into the LLM. It was going to go ahead and take the product feed that we've configured with all the right attributes, showcase the certain set of socks, and now the shopper can come in in context, within the LLM, choose a different color and decide that they're going to purchase, and go ahead and finalize that by adjusting any payment methods. And then at some point, it's going to ask if you definitely want to make the purchase, because we want to be sure, and you hit pay, and the order is done. So all of this is done because we provided the product feed. It was made available onto the LLM surface, and then through the conversational interface, we're able to go ahead and get the payment registered. And the good news is, after all of this is done, comes the next step around order ingestion. Because if this order doesn't come back to Magento or Adobe Commerce, then there's no use for actually having it done, because you won't know what to ship. The good news is, we plan to work with all of those protocols and make sure that they're tied in properly back into the e-commerce system, so that it just looks like a normal order that you would have booked off of your website, but there will be an indication that it wasn't, you know, the surface or wherever it came from. But the rest of it can go with the same business workflow that everyone is used to, and no change to that.
And that customer for the toe socks was using payment services.
All right. So in summary, here's the 3 things. If lunch was too heavy and you fell asleep through this session, this is the time where you wake up, and then it's like cheating. Here are the 3 things, and then you can go and you can be intelligent about this session. So basically, payment services for Adobe Commerce and Magento open source helps provide the functionality that shoppers are looking for in the best sort of shopping experience. Non-technical users are able to change that experience in the way that they want.
And if you're a merchant or work with merchants that are using one of the legacy PayPal solutions, please look to migrate them to a more up-to-date REST API solution, which is payment services, or Braintree also offers that too.
And last but not least, staying on this modern stack puts you and your merchant in the driver's seat to take benefit of the agentic future by the ability to meet shoppers where they are on those particular AI surfaces. And with that, that concludes the session. Thank you for everyone for your time. And I believe we have a few minutes for questions. If anyone has any tough ones, they go to Harrison, and the easy ones come to me. Oh, okay. Yes.
Hi, I'm Federico. I want to ask about the CSV generation that you show for this demo, because I was using a MeshBit module that the guys of MeshBit creates for make an internal demo for agentic commerce checkout using this module, and also the Stripe payment for make it work, extending a little this module that the guys of MeshBit released. But now I can see that this maybe is going to be part of Core or Adobe. How is the plan? And also, we have now more than one checkout implementations, or more than one that not only the ChatGPT and Stripe combination. We have more than one, and this is going to be supported by Adobe. This is going to be native. How you are going to work on that for the future?
Yeah, it's a hard question, but I think I'll try this one. So I think, you know, in terms of integration, just in the spirit of Magento and Adobe Commerce, you know, flexibility is key. So we will have one way of integrating with some of the payment providers, with some of the protocols. Maybe there's a different way that people want to do it or something like that, so it can also be used. Now, our goal is to make sure that we're partnering up with a lot of the same people who are running these protocols and who are integrating into these protocols. And so if it is a standard protocol, we'll probably have some sort of integration. The first one that we're doing is with PayPal. It's only because they were a little bit more ahead in terms of trying to figure out how they're going to create that integration on their end. So we'll definitely do that. And in terms of the checkout that you talked about, once again, if that protocol is supported by that particular checkout, it will work natively out of Adobe Commerce. If it is a protocol that we are not planning to support or haven't gotten to support, then maybe we need some sort of a custom module or something like that. But on the order ingestion side, we will have an updated API so that people can send that information no matter which direction, no matter which path you're using to feed the AI surface.
Thank you.
No more questions? No?
Something hard for Harrison. Come on. Put him on the spot.
They are available after for other questions if you need.
Yes.
No, by the way, I'm very interested in what you've shown on PayPal bot integration. So does it work only with AI agent from PayPal, or it's an easy integration like with other services as well?
It will work with the integrations that PayPal has on the back end. So what we're doing is we're integrating our product feed with PayPal, and they have now integrated with surfaces on their side. So some are AI surfaces, and some of them are other shopping destinations as well.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you everyone for your time. I appreciate it.